Welcome to With Miska podcast episode here in... Yeah, that's actually good where we are, in Sawtell.
It's not like a Brentwood, Sawtell, whatever. Like it's like we're on the edge, so you can use whatever.
West LA.
Yeah, West LA.
Yes, and here we are. I thought that I'm really European, and I was going to say, here we are with Marco Chiavetta, but I just learned that it's not Chiavetta.
No, it's Chiavetta.
Chiavetta.
Yes, it's Chiavetta.
Nice. I worked in an Italian restaurant. I've worked in a couple of Italian. They were actually Italian style restaurants.
Okay, so not Italian, but style Italian.
Yes,
So-
but the owner was from Veneto, Italy.
Okay, but you,
Fabiolo's Cucina in Hollywood on Sunset and Vine.
okay, you did have the Alfredo sauce.
I think so.
Okay, which is not Italian, but it's okay.
Yes, I think we had. What Alfredo is the white sauce, right?
Yes, it is the white sauce, like doesn't exist in Italy.
I don't know what to say. We actually have some Finnish food. It's called. You can buy like ready-made food. It's called Italian pata, Italian casserole. And I need to ask. I need to get some from Finland for you because in Finland you can buy something like that.
Yeah, I want to see that. I really want to see it.
Yes. No. How about pasta carbonara?
No, that's Italian. Yes, that. I mean, it depends how you do it, but it's Italian.
Yes.
In general, it's an Italian dish. Yes, it is.
Nice. So no. What did you say? Alfredo sauce.
No Alfredo sauce.
Alfredo even sounds Italian.
Yeah, no, it's an Italian name, but it's not an Italian sauce.
Well, I'm glad that I'm getting confirmation from here. Yes, I've known we have known each other for a couple of years.
Less, like it's a year right now, more or less.
Yes, through friends, and we live pretty close to each other. And here I am with the fellow immigrant and fellow artist.
Yeah.
And it's Friday night. It's 4:15 Friday night. What's a guy like you doing on Friday night? You made it from Europe to Hollywood, and here you are.
Like usually, like my lifestyle is pretty, like it's pretty slow. So Friday night, it's either I'm home or like I'm doing some music composing, or I'm out beer. Not too late. I know it sounds weird because I
What did you say? Beer?
Beer, yes.
Yes. Here you're out for beer or you're at home.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Like I did have my crazy party time when I was younger. So now I'm just a little bit chiller.
And how long have you been in America?
It's been 6 years, 2019, yes. 6 years almost.
6 years. I'm going to move the mic a little bit.
Of course.
Well, now we're in safe hands because you're a music professional and we're going to learn about that.
Okay.
And Marco also has headphones, so you can hear how everything sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
And so don't mind if I'm sometimes not looking at you, Marco.
No, just do your
because
stuff.
I'm also checking if everything is going okay. Yes, so thank you for being in With Miska podcast, Marco Chiavetta.
Thank you for inviting me. That's great.
And what's your profession?
I'm a sound designer, music composer for multimedia, and wanna be an artist in a way. Working on my first album of songs.
Wanna be an artist?
Wanna be an artist? Yes, I never really worked on my own production for like songs specifically.
But that wanna be artist sounds it sounds a little bit sad because I've heard your music.
Yep.
And it's very professional. It's great.
I mean, like the wanna be an artist is not related to the skills that you have. Like I always thought that art, like definition of art, should belong to other people. Not, I will never call myself an artist. I
Yes.
will just give other person like the ability of judging what I do, and if they like it or not. If they may love it, they may hate it. It's on them. I just expose myself in a way.
Yes. But you're here on an artist, like you're a professional.
I try to, yes.
Humble European professional.
Humble European professional. That's a good definition, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah. So you were born in Italy
Yes, born and raised.
sometime. Where in Italy?
Small town, central east coast. You basically go east from Rome. It's the same height. It's called in Abruzzo region. It's called Teramo. Very tiny. 50,000 people in the city. 350,000 in the county. So it's very very tiny.
Yes.
Rural.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask. Was it rural?
It was rural. It didn't feel rural at the time because I didn't know any better than that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's kind of rural, but also very, very beautiful. Like not very touristic area. There's a lot of nature. One of the biggest parks, like national parks in Europe. It's beautiful. It's very nice.
This is stereotypical, but how was the food?
The food is I mean, in Italy, food is good everywhere. Like
Yes.
food and wine, it's bulletproof in a way. It's good. It's very meat based. Because originally my region is a shepherd region, so there's a lot of sheep meat.
Yes.
And general meat. Very little. There's some veggie based recipes, but like in general, like it's very meat based as a diet.
I don't imagine sheep being big part of all Italian cuisine, or is it?
It is. It's very common.
Okay.
Like there's meat basically everywhere in Italy.
Yes. I meant sheep meat specifically.
Sheep meat. It's a little bit more regional.
Yes.
I would say I'm not sure what I'm talking about here. Like I don't know any like specific, like every single specific region in Italy in terms of like sheep meat. I'm not an expert, I would say.
But at least your region.
My region and Sardinia are very like sheep based.
What's sheep in Italian?
Pecora.
Pecora.
Yes.
I'm thinking about the names of the dishes we had in Fabiolo's, but there was because they were in Italian, but no pecora.
No pecora. Yeah,
No.
no, it's very rare. It's also a very weird meat.
My favorite, yeah, we have some meat. We have some sheep meat in our fridge. Yeah, it has a specific taste.
It's a specific taste, yes.
My favorite dish in the restaurant where I worked was penne alla vodka.
Okay, like pink sauce, yes.
Yes, with the splash of vodka and a little bit of some spices. That's Italian, I guess.
Yeah, you know, it is. I guess it is. I'm not sure. I know it's kind of it's a well-known dish in Italy, but I have no clue if it's like very authentic or not. I know it exists. I know it exists.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if it's original Italian or not, but I know it exists.
but you're a vegan.
I am vegan.
So if you wanted to impress not me, but someone important, what kind of food would you make?
Oh, I do a lot of pastas.
Yes.
And I am very good at making like at choosing like meat alternatives and like beans. Yeah, there's a lot that we can like that can be done.
Would you want to say one specific?
The Genovese is great. Genovese is like a white ragu that is originally made with like beef. But I can make it with alternative meat, and it's great. I've been making it for a few friends and people, and they all love it.
And what's ragu?
Ragu is like yeah, sure. So, well, like in America, it's known as bolognese.
So tomato-based sauce.
No, this one is a white bolognese. It's basically a meat sauce, white meat sauce with onion, carrots, and meat cooked with white wine and a lot of love.
So it's not really creamy.
It becomes kind of creamy, but it's like not creamy. Like not creamy the way you think. Not creamy as the Alfredo.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
No, it's definitely not an Alfredo sauce.
I think we had one Genovese dish in the restaurant, and it had pesto in it. But this,
The pesto alla Genovese is another thing. Yes.
yeah,
That's the pesto, the green pesto that you like. We all know. That's pesto alla Genovese. But Genovese sauce, it's a bolognese sauce.
Yeah.
It's a white bolognese sauce.
and what specifically would you use as a meat alternative for this?
I won't name the brands, but they're pretty known.
So it would be
Yeah, it will be like alternative meat. Like you can also do it with What's the name in English? Let me Google it 1 second.
What's the name in your language? Whatever you're thinking.
Lenticchia.
Lenticchia, like lentils.
Lentils. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Makes sense.
And what was the name of the dish? One more at the end.
Genovese.
And what pasta?
Oh, it depends. You can do it with different kind of cuts. Mezze manica, or even with the spaghetti or bucatini. That makes sense. That will make sense.
Wow, I only knew one of those.
Okay.
I knew spaghetti, but because I know some of the pastas, but I didn't know two of those.
The bucatini are the thick spaghetti with the hole in the middle.
Okay, all right.
And the macaroni.
Macaroni.
The like the tubular striped pasta.
Yes.
Those are usually mezze manica.
Mezzamani.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fancier than macaroni.
Yeah, that's fun.
But you said you don't have word macaroni really that much.
No, we do, but
So you don't have.
I'm not even sure. Like, this is very weird because we use the word macaroni in Italy, but like at this moment, if I think what we mean with macaroni, it's actually macaroni in Italy.
Macaroni.
Yes, and if I think what we mean with macaroni, actually, I'm not sure. It's just more a general word for short pasta, but I'm not sure. Like, this could be a disgrace as it is for me.
When I was young, I used words. I at least thought that word macaroni meant pasta. So spaghetti was also macaroni.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like literally, man. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah,
I always assumed the opposite. I always assumed that macaroni was just like specifically short pasta in general. But now that I think it was just an assumption. I don't really research on that.
I hope this is not intense because I'm asking you these big Italian cuisine questions.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, you're just a guy from Italy. But you made, not me, but you made your friend really nice pasta, and I got to taste it, and it was sophisticated. So I thought that you think about this stuff a lot.
Like, Italian cuisine is not that sophisticated. Like, I mean, it can be.
Yes.
But it's 90% of the time, 99% of the time is very simple.
Yes.
And
it felt sophisticated for me.
But
yes.
But like, it's very simple because if you think about most of the things that you can eat in Italian restaurants, it's like the general rule, and it's obviously flexible. But for Italian basic cuisine, if it's more than 4 or 5 ingredients, it's probably wrong.
Yeah.
And that, again, this is just like a general rule. Like, there's many complex dishes that you can do in Italian cuisine. But yeah, in general, we tend to cook very simple. Ingredients are very important. Simple life, simple cuisine, simple, like, simplicity.
So Italians really think about those things. Not just in stories.
Oh, we simple like think is just like I mean, the way I define the word thinking is just like if you're actively thinking about something. But in Italy, like there's a lot of like fairy tales about Italian culture, and most of them are just completely fake. But one thing that is true is that the lifestyle that we have, it's very connected to food, and it's very connected to, in a way, to simplicity and authenticity.
Yes.
But yeah, we don't necessarily think about this, but we have it like embedded in the way we experience life in a way.
That sounds really nice.
It is in a way.
Yeah. How about the wine? Is it part of? Yeah. How about the wine?
The wine is a big part of culture. I do like wine, but I'm not a great expert. But it's also very regional. It's extremely regional. We have hundreds of different wines: white, red, rosés, bubbly.
I guess what I was asking, is it an everyday thing, we imagine?
Could be. It probably is. not that much for me directly, but my dad, for example, he always has his glass of wine like during lunch or dinner. I drink way less wine than the average Italian man, but yeah.
You drink way less
Yes,
or
yes.
way less wine?
Way less wine.
Yes.
Yes, way less wine, I would say.
Yeah. So how was your family growing up?
Pretty standard family, Italian family. In my house, it was me, my dad, my mom, and my grandma.
Grandma?
Yes, from my dad's side. And we always had a dog at least. So that was like a pretty standard family. Fairly happy with all the normal problems of every family. But like,
Yeah.
very supportive.
And how cold does it get in winter?
In my region, very cold. Now I can get, I can translate it into the American system, but it's like around 0, -5.
Celsius.
Yes.
So did you get snow?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, wow.
We used to like less and less over, like obviously
Yeah.
change stuff, less and less, but we used to get a lot of snow.
But your parents were supportive?
Yes, with me, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I had to fight for a lot of stuff, which I think it's healthy. Like, not everything should be granted. You have, like, growing up, you have to impose yourself in a way, even with your parents. It makes like an healthy experience. But, you know, there was always this process where everything was happening with me. It was maybe there was some contrast, some different views, but then when it was decided that that was my way and I got it my way, they were just like, okay, you go in that direction, that's fine by us. We're gonna help you out with this. And it feels very, very good actually.
What do you think were the main direction battles?
Oh, the hardest, but it's also complicated to explain it this way. The music was a hard one. The music part was a hard one.
In which way?
So my dad, growing up, my dad was like, had two major passion and professions. It was politics and he was a gymnastic teacher. So I grew up doing a lot of sports. I played a lot of soccer, learned fencing. I did a lot of sport.
Yeah.
When I was like in my first year of high school,
Fencing.
yeah, I did fencing.
Yeah.
I was actually, as a kid, I was 11, 12, but I was very good.
That's unique. That's
Yeah.
really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did a lot of those.
Yeah, I did a lot of sports, different sports, mainly soccer.
Yeah.
I was a goalie. But yeah, when during my first year of high school, when I decided to just that I wanted to play, and I had this discovery that music, like I always, so premises, I played instrument as a kid.
Which?
Like, I studied a little bit of guitar and a little bit of piano, but I was like very, like extremely energetic as a kid, like a lot of energy. So for me, it was very hard to focus on the instrument, but I had the experience of just putting the hands on instruments. So when I was 13 and I started just listening to music, discover rock music, discover bands from the 70s, the 80s, like modern.
Any specific band?
Well, there were a lot. I mean, I was a kid, so some of them, they don't belong to the time. Like my biggest revelation, this sounds very stupid to say right now, but the first time that I listened to the album A Place in the Sun by Lit, it's a just California rock, like pop punk band.
Yeah.
I just, like, my mind just blew. And then I started obviously with Blink-182, and all the punk movement, hardcore punk. The Limp Bizkit were like big influence in my pre-start playing phase. Chocolate Starfish is one of my top 10 album to bring on the desert island.
I've heard the name, but by whom?
Limp Bizkit.
Okay, yes.
yeah, like there was like this phase where I just approached a lot of rock. At the time, it was still big, like, end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s was a big thing. So that part defined my interest for like music in general. And it wasn't easy because obviously I spent all my first year of high school with this dream of playing something, and I got interested into bass because my friends, like, had some guitar player friends and some drum. Like my best friend just started playing drums. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play bass. I didn't even know exactly what a bass was.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play bass. And yeah, I just started to just focus a lot on that, listen a lot of music, studying a little bit less, and I was playing soccer, so I was like, I had a lot of like training session and the soccer matches and like listening to music, and I wasn't studying. That's the truth stuff. It's like first year of high school was very bad to me. So at the end, this is actually a cool story because like I never got to tell it like completely to anyone in here in the US. At the end of the year, I almost failed. And before my mom and dad figure out that I just passed to the second one day we were at the beach, and like a guy show up, and it was like I just treated him as a friend, like a family friend, somebody my parents knew, like, and then at one point we were chatting, and it was like, oh, do you know what I do? I was like, no, I don't. And it was like, oh, I'm a bass player. I teach bass. And my mom was like, yes, like it's going to be your teacher, and this is your bass. And I was like, I didn't even know if I passed to the second year. Like there was like an act of, like a sort of just telling me, okay, I don't know how much I can say, but like kind of like you fucked up this, but it's not a problem. You want to do this, however it goes, you're going to do this, but now you have to change the pace.
Yeah.
And I did change the pace. Like, I mean, I wasn't the most brilliant student in the world, but I managed to do everything fairly good.
Did you leave the sports at some point?
I did leave the sport. I did for a number of reasons. I always loved sport. I do a lot of sports right now even. I run a lot, gym. I did a lot of CrossFit. I did a lot, like over the years, like in the recent past, not when I was a kid. But I never felt I will ever, like, per se, the career, or just like I never felt that was my vocation,
Which was the number one sport for you?
Soccer, probably at the time.
Yeah, and it's big in Italy.
Yeah, it's big, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I have fun playing it still now. Like I play a list. Like recently, last couple of months, it didn't happen, but at least once a week.
As a goalie?
No, now I want to run.
Yes.
I like playing goalie, but we just make rotation. So I play like 10, 15 minutes goalie when we start, so then I warm up. I'm getting older, so I just have to warm up.
Yes.
And then I just run.
So you said that it didn't feel, that you gave it up for...
I did give it up for studying music and just focusing on the bass.
And what was the age when that switch happened? Because I had a similar switch when I was 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, that was my between 13 and 14. Like 14 probably, 14 and a half.
No more sports, and then...
A lot of music, yeah.
Punk.
Started with... it started that I was listening to a bunch of stuff. Like literally a bunch of stuff. I had this small band that was obviously like terrible because none of us were just like... I just had this very tiny amplifier. I was cracking it up to play over the drums, and it was sounding horrible. But we had fun, so we're just trying to write some songs, and that band lasted very, very little time. And then at one point, I met this guy who became one of my best friends at the time, Pier Paolo, is like a saxophone player, and starting from that band, like from the Elite and all the like the Blink 182, that were just like a little bit more commercial punk, I will say, like not great albums, but like a little bit more exposed. We went like down to the rabbit hole. So NoFX, and other bands on the side. Like I'm thinking about the Mad Caddies on the ska core. There's a lot of bands in that. The what's the name of the
Rancid.
Rancid? A lot of Rancid. Good. That bass player of the Rancid is just like very, very good. Yeah, there's a lot of those like underground punk band. And there were like a bunch of, there was like actually a pretty big ska core scene in Italy with like very good bands at the time. So at one point, my first serious band was pretty big, where we were 8 or 9 people. We had bass, it was me, drum, 2 guitars, 1 singer, and 3 brass.
Nice.
So it was like a full ska core band with a full, like almost a full brass band, 2 saxophone and 1 trumpet. So it was like, it was actually a weird starting point for a kid, like to just be, I'm learning bass and now I play with this band that is an 8 people band.
Yeah.
It's pretty big and you have to learn how to just interact with everyone. And I wasn't thinking about all this at the time. I just playing and just doing my lines and try to write some stuff that I liked. But the truth is that when you play with other people, you just learn to do what you want to do, but also like balance what you're doing with what you're hearing. It's like kind of a natural path when you're in that kind of environment.
And usually the brass players are pretty experienced, I think.
Yeah, at the time we were like, none of us were pretty
Okay.
But yeah, Pierpaolo was like, he is still like I have a very good I think he's a brilliant musician, saxophone player, incredible. Right now he plays a lot of Balkan music, like odd rhythm stuff. And
Can you slowly say his name if people want to go?
Pierpaolo.
Pierpaolo.
Yeah.
Paolo.
Yeah.
Nice. So did you want to be stars or successful or anything like that?
At the time?
Yeah.
Mom, I don't even know if that was ever a thing. I wanted to play and I liked the idea. I liked the stage a lot. I always had like a pretty eccentric stage presence, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my friends called me the dancer bass player.
That's great. That's great.
But yeah, like, success the way, of course I wanted to be successful as a band, as a musician, but for me it was always the musical part. I never thought about like the success as I want to be famous.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be like really much successful in what I liked in that specific field. No matter like the underground, the little bit more indie kind of music field was always more interesting for me compared to the big pop scene and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how was it? Did it go on for long? Did you tour a lot?
So at the time, to be like kids, we played a lot. We had a lot of shows in the first couple of years. Then after 2 years, I just discovered the rock, glam, hard rock scene specifically from LA. And I started to transition from the ska and rock and ska core punk to the hard rock, glam rock. And that was also a big transition for me and a big part of my life. Basically the last year of high school to university in Rome. When I moved to Rome, I was like very much into the glam rock scene.
What band would you say?
Oh, Motley Crue was a very good, probably the first band that I approached was Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And then like Whitesnake, even like smaller band like the Veins, Elegance, Guns N' Roses was like another, like Guns N' Roses, like Appetite for Destruction was like literally
Yes.
for me. Like I remember listening as a bass player. I remember listening first time I listened Rocket Queen
Yeah.
with that just bass, like a
Yeah.
bass groove. I was like, the heck is this? Like, yeah, that was a big change for me. Wonderful.
Yeah. Duff.
Yeah, great bass player. Great bass.
Since you're in LA, have you seen some of those bands from your young days?
Motley
players?
Crue, I went to a couple of shows, but actually in Italy.
Yeah.
The Guns, I never managed to watch them live. I think I should, but like the Guns N' Roses thing is a little controversial. Like there's Axl Rose and everybody else, and I don't know. I don't even know if I want to. And it's part at this point of my life. I love those bands. It's like I don't listen to them anymore. Some of them just because I listen to those albums so much that right now, just when I listen to those, I'm just like, ugh, I know what it is. I just got over it.
Yeah.
But there will always be like part of my like part of the reason why I'm here just starts from the fact that 70% of the music that I listened as a teenager, just came out from LA.
So that's actually, that interests me. Do you said that you haven't seen many of those bands, but do you go to Rainbow?
I went to Rainbow a couple of times, but actually, no.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's because I don't belong to the kind of things anymore. So
Rainbow is a bar that was one of the main bars in that scene.
Yeah, it is. I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I'm also not, like, this is another thing about me, which I don't have the cult of personality. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if I could sit down with some of my, like, of the idol from my young age and have a glass of beer and have a genuine chat, I will love that. But I'm not the kind of guy who sees somebody on the streets and it's like, I want a picture. I don't care. I don't want a picture. Just like, I love what they did, but like, this is a concept that it's also related to what I do. I don't think that when you're a successful musician or artist, you're directly connected all the time not connected. You're always connected with your music, but your music doesn't really belong to you anymore. Once it's done, it's music, it's not Guns N' Roses or like it's that kind of music, that album, and whoever is behind it has his own story, like it's like his own story. And it's beautiful, but I don't think it will change my mind to grab a beer with
Duff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, probably Duff, yes. No, like Axl Rose, I don't know. Just like, I don't.
So did you have your own glam band?
I did have for a short time a glam rock band. Originally, it was originally called Angels Tears, and then they switched to Suicide Love. When I left, they got out with an album. There's one song in that album that I wrote, and that's the only song that was fully mine. All the other songs were just like co-written and blah blah blah, but that was my song, and I wrote and arranged it, and it was for a specific person in my life at the time.
What's the song called?
Oh shoot! Give me 1 second. I'll figure it out.
You can think about it.
Yeah. I can't recall it right now, but I can tell you later. I can, like, actually, you know what?
You can check it. I'll play background music.
Yeah. Because I know how to search for it.
Oh, this is some weird tuning.
Light. Yes. Eyes of Light.
Sorry.
Eyes of Light.
By
Suicide Love.
And it's somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere, but it's not on streaming services. So and it's very weird because the song, there was a song that I wrote. Like this is just a story that I'm telling. Like you won't be able to verify it anyway. It's just I haven't talked to the guys for a long time, so they probably registered the song on their name. I don't care. I just wrote that song, and the lyrics were very specific. But I wasn't there when they recorded it, so it's weird because it still has a lot of what I put into that, but they changed stuff. And it's a weird feeling when you just listen to something that you originally meant in a way that just like interpreted like in a different would. I do like it, and I'm very glad that they did this because now I have like a kind of a professionally recorded track of that moment of my life, but it's not the way I would have done that.
Yeah, you had left the band already.
Yeah, already I left the band.
Is the band still around?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Well, I hope that song surfaces in some way.
I mean, that's one of the things that I hope it stays at where it is, because it's like something that it's part of, like such part of a past life, that it's okay to keep it as a photograph, like something that you can listen sometimes and see like.
And do you mean the original experience, what you wrote the song about, or the recording?
Both.
Okay.
That period of my life is just like it's very far from now. Like it's 18 years ago.
Yeah, I guess Axl Rose wrote Sweet Child of Mine for his girlfriend, Erin Everly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So it's some, like all the songs, they are many very personal, and then you sing them for 40 years if you're lucky.
I think like the other thing is that, I always in my life I've always written stuff, like in terms of lyrics and like notes and like doing diary, and I like that part very much. But it wasn't since very recently that I thought, okay, whatever I'm writing right now, it makes sense to me that I'm okay with somebody else to go through it, and just being able to experience what I'm writing down with my pen, not that much of the musical as well. But I never actually thought that I could. I'm not talking about being a professional writer like for movies or for a book, but actually writing something and just being able to share it with whoever. Like it doesn't matter. Just give whatever I'm writing to somebody else. It's a very recent thing for me, and I put a lot of effort on just like looking back at what I'm writing and trying to modify. And it's not that I'm a poet or anything like that, but yeah, that lyric specifically, it was about an ex-girlfriend, very bad experience at the time. Yeah.
But many good songs have that kind of stories.
They do. They have to have it, I guess. Like, I mean, even this album I'm making comes out from a very dark place in general.
Yes, usually you make instrumental music.
Yes, most of the time.
But now what I heard was the pre-recording or demo or something of your album with songs.
Yes.
So what's up with that?
So that's a big process. It started many years ago, actually. It's not many, but like a little around 3 years ago. And it started almost by mistake. I wasn't even considering the idea of just creating a project and writing an album. Now I don't have a standard tuned guitar here, so this one is in open tuning. But at the time I was in Amsterdam, and I was looking for an apartment for me to stay, And I was just jumping from one friend place to another and just staying in different houses. And one day I was in the apartment of a couple of friends that were out of Amsterdam, and they were just like, hey, you can stay at our place for a week. And this Italian friend of mine had classic guitar, like a nylon guitar. So I grabbed it one night, and I didn't have anything for recording other than the Zoom H8 and my and my laptop.
And that recorder is the same style that we use to record this.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But I didn't have even a microphone. I just had that,
Yes.
the microphone, like the integrated mic of the Zoom. So, and I was messing around with it, and at one point I just wrote this very small, tiny lick. And right now I'm more capable, but I'm not a guitar player. Like I never was a guitar player. I never meant myself to be a guitar player. So it was also very complicated for me to write like that very simple stuff and recording it. But I did. And that was probably the first or the second track. And this couple of tracks that I wrote in that specific time, they made sense together. Like they had something in common. And, and over time I kept writing stuff. But I think the most important jump I had in this process was September 23, because I was back in LA, and I had this very good friend, Julia, visiting me from Italy for 5 days. And she introduced me to an artist, and I discovered, I always knew, I'm an experienced musician at this point. I always knew, open tuning, alternative tuning of guitar. And I discovered this specific open tuning thing. I was like, oh, this song is very beautiful. So I started looking into that, just to tune the guitar and start looking at how the song was, like the guitar line was. And I was like, oh, this is very interesting. And the song, that specific song, has a capo at the 8th fret. So it's very high pitched. So I learned a little bit of that. And then at one point I just...
Can you play it with this?
Maybe. I don't even know if I remember that.
So this is the lick that you...
the first lick that I don't know. I have this finger that is kind of...
What's going on with your blue... What's with the finger? It's just like a blue rubber thing on top of it.
It's a finger condom. I just cut myself, so I just have I just had it covered to not show the blood. Let's see.
So is this the original lick?
Yeah. That was very simple. I can't play very well right now with the finger, so it's kind of off. But the idea was this one. And starting from this, I just got rid of the capo one day. And and I started messing around with this tuning. And there's something very beautiful about changing the tuning of a guitar. And it is that you can't rely on geometry anymore.
Can you play do you want to play the whole song or?
No, it's okay. I just with this finger, I'm not very capable today, so it's gonna be messy. Maybe we can try later something.
Yes,
I can show you something later. But yeah, the thing is that when you change the tuning of the guitar, you can rely on the geometry that on the neck.
Yes, when I was trying... Can I try this?
Yeah, you can.
When I was just... I experienced that with ukulele. Mm-hmm. Because I got a ukulele. So this... what's the chord?
It's basically a G...
Sus.
No, it's a G minor.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work the way I'm used to.
No, say when it doesn't work the way you used to, the only thing you can do is inventing. Like you have to listen, and that's very interesting because it opens a completely different process where you're not very relying on what you usually do, because what you usually do doesn't work. So if you try to do what you do, it sounds horrible. So you have to reinvent. You really have to kind of sing or kind of go looking for something. And maybe you have a good idea and it sounds good, but then you have to look for something else.
It makes you rethink the whole thing, how you play guitar.
Because sometimes for example, this one is a full chord, you know? If you do this with a standard tuning guitar, it sounds horrible. If you do this,
nice.
It's very simple, but you have to go look for those kind of things. And also there's another thing that I started doing after a while, which using two capos to do stuff like oh, sorry.
That sounds really nice.
Yeah, with the messed up part, but whatever.
Who played the guitars for your album that I just heard?
It's all me.
I thought that you had hired someone professional because it was so good.
That's all me. I have many guitar player friends. So, for example, in the third track, the one is for now it's called Love Wisdom, but it's gonna change. I don't like to use love stuff, but I needed some coding. So
yes.
The third track of the pre-production, there's one of my friend playing some solo guitar, but all the other guitars on the album are basically mine.
I was very impressed, and I was under impression that someone else played them because they were so good.
Thanks. Basically everything is in there. It's me. Bass, guitar, synths, drum production. I also recorded the carpet. There's carpet everywhere. Basically. Yeah.
Carpet.
Yes. I did. I don't I'm on this. Yeah, sort of this. But if you do it on the carpet with the microphone very close by, it sounds almost like a snare. Yeah, and you can do rhythm.
Nice.
So there's a lot of small stuff into that.
Well, I really like the songs.
Oh, I'm glad that.
So, for something like this, now you have songs, you have demos. What's gonna happen to it? When can we hear it?
So the goal is to release everything by the end of the summer. I'm not sure if I will be able to, because those songs that you hear, they have some orchestral arrangement, but they don't have the orchestral arrangement that I want to put in, and I want to record string orchestra for that. So the process is gonna be simple. As soon as I can go back to it, I will just finish recording all the guitars and the basic stuff that I can do at home: guitar, bass, drum productions, and everything.
By yourself?
By myself. I'm gonna call whoever I want to call to collaborate. I'm gonna have a couple of other guitar friends coming over, just make some solos here and there, just adding some stuff, because I always believe that even if something it's coming from one person, you need some fresh approach to it, because the fresh approach brings your stuff from 8 to 10. all the time. So I'm gonna have some other friends coming over, just record some stuff. I'm gonna have. I'm still deciding because I'm a horrible singer. So I'm still deciding if I wanna take the risk of recording the main vocals myself. Take a lot of time for that, but for now, I contacted a few female singers to do all the background vocals. Because if I'm gonna record the vocals myself, I know I can't do 15, 20 tracks of vocals. I need professional people behind me to just allow me to sing the songs.
Yes.
And do all the patterns that I have in mind with the vocals behind the way they're meant to be, like, So yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of the process, and then it's gonna be mix, mastering, and everything else.
And nowadays, the way the industry is, what happens? Do you tour? Do you get a band? Music video?
I'm not even thinking. So music video, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the high aesthetic of the album, the actual art concept. I'm thinking if I wanna print it on CDs and vinyl.
Yeah.
I'm talking with like one of my best friend is a great photographer. So we had some ideas for that, making a logo, like just creating the visual part. I don't have any idea what I want to actually do with it in terms of, this album for me is not made to make money. It's not something that I'm doing because I want to be a rock star. I'm just doing it because for me it was a healing process of all the stuff that happened to me over the last 3 years. I needed to put them somewhere, and there were like a lot of bad stuff, but in bad stuff, like there's a lot of beauty in a way, and that all those things, all those positive things, even if they come from a dark place, they deserved a place to be, and that's my place to place them. So I'm gonna have to start thinking what to do with it. If I want to tour, if I want to find an agent, if I want to go and try to place it like for sync and other kind of things. But the only thing.
Sorry, what was that?
Sync is like when you when part of like you have an agency that is like promoting your song to be placed on movie like shows and stuff like this. But like the only thing I'm sure 100% about this is that it's gonna be out there, and yeah, it's gonna be my first attempt to just be out there.
Well, if you feel like that, I think you should sing.
Yeah, I think I should. Like, I'm in the process because I'm very well aware of what I can and what I cannot do.
Yeah.
And I know that if I want to sing this is going to be a long process. Like, I have to take my time and do the take over and over until I just find the perfect take.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay. Also, because I tried to record, I'm still trying some singers and friend singers, because like that's so personal that I don't like the way my voice sounds because I don't have vocal technique and I'm not a singer. But I do like the way it is, like those songs have been sung, like the attitude and the meaning and the actual performance itself, emotional performance is there. It's like the technical part that sucks. Like, I'm horrible. So you can become a singer like from like night to morning,
Do you think you will share some of this process, demos, making of?
In the future, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even now?
Now, if you want, like if we want to include some of the instrumental part, yes.
So I'll put the link on show notes.
No, the link no. The link no. Now, if you want to put if you want to take like a couple of minutes of the podcast and just put the songs underneath, that's fine. The link no, because it's still a big process and I don't want to spoil it. I just don't want the material to be out there before it's the way I meant to.
Yes.
So like a taste of it, it's fine.
Let's put a little taste.
Yes, I'll put
Here.
this.
And there. And that was from your upcoming album.
Yes.
You said that was instrumental. Is it gonna have singing too?
Yes, everything is like every single track has a singing part. Like that's what it's gonna be.
The reason why I asked if you want to share, because the music industry is different with the social media, that sometimes, like that's one way to do it, that if you share the process. So I was just curious if you want to do it or not.
I was thinking about doing some making of and stuff. Like the main thing is that this album is not going to be released tomorrow. And for me, the problem is everything that I have right now, some of them are recorded and they're done to be recorded. Like this one that we just heard, it's done to be recorded. Like I don't think I'm going to put anything else on top of it anymore, other than probably some orchestral part, but that's another thing. But they're not mixed, they're not edited. It's just like raw. It's raw material that have to be like, it needs a lot of love to get there. So I think by the time I'm gonna start sharing the making of process, I want the songs to be 80% in the process.
Yes.
Yeah, because I need that. I need that. Like as the writer of the song, also as a human being, I need that kind of safe net of just feeling it is what I meant to be, so that I'm ready to show everybody else that to get where you want to be, you have to screw up a lot of stuff.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. But for now, it's just like there's a lot of screwing up, and that's it. I mean,
But an album is coming.
yeah, the album is coming.
Yes, with your name.
No, the project is called 0 to X.
0 to X.
Yes, and it's not on my name because I don't think it should be on my name. I just feel that it has to, as I told you before, it has to exist by itself at one point. Like we're not eternal. In a way, like this is probably not gonna go anywhere, but like you could be dead and your music could still be there. And there's a lot of artists that we don't even know the original names. So it's good, in my opinion, to give something a name that walks by itself.
Yeah.
0 to X.
0 to X.
Yes.
But then here we are in LA. So how did you end up from Italy?
Yeah, to LA.
Yeah. How did you end up here?
So
And how long have you been here?
so it's 6 years.
Oh, you told me actually
Yeah,
already.
6 years up and down because I left the city for around 16, 18 months, a little more or less. So the thing is curious because I'm a music composer mainly, and I do work in media, video games, movies, and also do sound design. So when I graduated from Berklee College of Music, my master degree in scoring, I decided it was the time for me to just go live for a little bit in the place where all the music I listened growing up was coming from, including all the orchestral scoring, cinema music, like, movie music was coming out from. And so I found an internship.
So let's remember the internship. But before coming to America, so you were in Italy and then you went to Berkeley.
Yes, but
that was the first step to here.
My first step to here was, I went to Berkeley College of Music in the campus of Valencia in Spain.
Okay.
So they have a campus in Spain, in southern Spain, Valencia. I did my master degree there, so I was in a Spanish-speaking country in an English-speaking school, and I did the master there, and then I flew from Valencia to Boston, where I was for around 2-3 weeks. It was the first city where I was, because I had to do some seminars at Berkeley College for the people doing the internship in the US. And then from Boston to Los Angeles, and then Los Angeles became my home.
Yeah, so you found the internship after school in LA.
Yes.
Doing what?
So I had to decide. I had a couple of offers at the time. One was very interesting. It was in Madrid, actually, with a composer who was getting out of Los Angeles, going back to living in Madrid. And I got that internship there. But I really wanted to, at the time I was talking with my ex-girlfriend, and I was like, I'm not 100% sure, because I was already 31, I guess. And it's like, this is probably my last chance not the last chance, but at the time it felt, this is my only easy way in the United States. And if I lose it, it may take me way longer to do this process. And she at the time, she didn't want to move here. She was like, she wasn't interested in that. But at one point she was like, if you feel like that, if this is very important, you should go, and then I'll come after you. So I accepted this second internship, that actually, the internship itself, it wasn't that interesting as the other one could have been, but it paid me back in a lot of different ways. Like, one of my best friend, I met him there. We've been friends since the third day I was in Los Angeles. I met him, we became very good. Claudio, actually. Claudio, I met Claudio at Red Cola. The owner of Red Cola was always very supportive with me, Damir Price. I want to thank him, because he always helped me out in a way or another, as much as he could. And you had the 1 year work permit after school. I had no, because that's an OPT,
yes.
And I didn't have access to OPT because my school was abroad, so I had an F1. What happened was that I came into the US, I started the internship, and I had the internship for 4 months, I guess. Yeah, it was September to January. And then after that, I had 60 days of grace period for the F1 before I had to leave.
And F1 is the student visa?
Yes, a student visa. So I rushed the hell out of myself. I didn't have any money at the time. So thanks to another friend, I kind of learned how to do the O1 visa by myself. I rushed the hell out of everything, and
what's O1 visa?
It's an artist visa. So I just basically did my first O1 by myself with some help, shipped, and got approved.
Which is usually people use lawyers.
Yes, and I did this twice.
How was it? How is the process?
Challenging, especially in the beginning. It's very challenging, because if you don't have access to information and to examples, you have no way of understanding how it should look like. And luckily I had that.
What is the package? What do you need to send them?
You need to send, there's obviously forms. A lot of forms and papers, government, where you send name, last name, where you were born, and other stuffs, other information. And then there's a petition letter. the petition letter is not kind of the core of the application, because it's a letter that could be like, mine is usually between 30 and 40 pages. It's a narrative way of telling the officer why you are fulfilling the points that they want to be fulfilled for them to grant you an artist visa. And everything that you do, it's like, it's not a narrative like there was a time a guy, like it's actually very lawyerish, like very, extremely it looks kind of sound like, to me, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't understand that, but like it looks like an academic paper, like it's very professional, and you have to.
In what form? Is it I am or he is? Is it in third person?
It's in third person,
yes.
Because when you have to do that, you're basically talking, like it doesn't really matter who's doing the way it works is that you're writing the paper on behalf of whoever is sponsoring you.
Yes.
So your sponsor is saying, I am Marco, and I'm sponsoring Miska for this O1 visa. So
yes.
Miska is, and he did, and these are the proof of what he did. So this is what was mentioned on this newspaper at this date, and this is an extract, and you can find the proof of this thing in the attachment number XYZ, blah blah blah. It's extremely technical. I was lucky because I have references, and I could copy the references and just learn the process while I was doing it. And I had this friend who just proofread it for me and helped me out a lot on that.
So in that petition, you need to prove that you're
fulfilling at least 3 out of the 6 points that USCIS asks for you to be like a badass artist.
Isn't it that you need to prove that you're like top 5%, top 1% of your own country or something like that?
I don't know exactly about the percentages. What they want to see is that you are like successful in a way that there's specific categories. There's awards, there's a recommendation from people that are of high level in the industry. There's a newspaper article. There's proof of just having been paid over the average. There's like different kind of points. There's six points.
Yeah.
You have to fulfill 3 at least. Usually when you do a petition, you just try to apply for all the 6 points because some of them can overlap.
Yes.
So the material that you use for 1 point maybe can be used also for another point, But yeah, you try to fulfill as many points as you can so that even if you don't fulfill 1 or 2, you maybe fulfill 4. That's the goal, to just give the official, like the USCIS, a very good understanding of what you did, what you do, what you're gonna do, and why you're worthy the trust of the US government.
Yes.
As an artist.
Is it difficult?
I don't really know because I was approved twice. I have a friend who was rejected.
Yeah.
It's challenging. It requires the way I don't even know how to explain this. I don't think all the artists in the world, that there's artists of good level, I don't think that all the artists in the world are focusing necessarily on what the USC, the immigration, wants to see to judge. It's very much based on commercial accomplishment and just popularity or being well known as a quality artist by certain kind of figures. It's like if you're an incredible artist, you can be the best singer in the world, but for the USCIS doesn't mean anything. You can't send a tape and tell the official, listen the way I sing. They don't care. They want to see that you won an award that's best talent 2024 at this festival.
Yeah.
For singing, So it's a lot of just you want to do certain kind of stuff, you want to get an artist visa, you have to plan and you have to understand that your quality as an artist are part of the reason why you're going to get approved, but they're not 100% the reason why you're going to get approved. It's like you have to put the work of just demonstrate that you did stuff. That's why it's like for many people it's hard, because you come here, you're like a composer, you studied music composition for years, maybe you never had the chance to score a short movie. And maybe you're great. Maybe you're the next Hans Zimmer or whoever, but you never had the chance to demonstrate that. So for them, you're not worth it. It's not a good investment. If you come here as a good artist and you did a lot of work, at the time I had multiple short movies, I did some video games, I had a lot of collaboration with Music Library, writing demos, I had a lot of stuff going on. So I could easily pack up like this massive file where there were proof that I was actually working, and that was enough for them.
Well, how has it been here?
It's been good and challenging, both of them.
How?
In many different ways. This is a place where there's everything for everyone, I guess. Like if you want to find your people, your niche, the things that you love, LA definitely has them because there's everything. Yeah. But it's also jungle. So like to find those things, you have to get lost many times along the process and accept that not everything is easy. It's actually it's a very populated city, but can be extremely lonely sometimes. So like there's pros and cons as everywhere. Like I lived in 7 countries and there's pros and cons everywhere. But yeah, I feel home. I just don't think right now, if I think about moving out of Los Angeles, I can't think of any other places where I will leave like for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk quite a lot about the album, but what kind of jobs are you working on now?
So this album is actually my primary focus for the next few months. So I'm not I'm financially fine.
Yeah.
I'm covering everything I have to cover.
Which is great in LA.
It's great. Like, I mean, I'm not like, you know me, I'm not obsessed with money. I don't have a Porsche or a Ferrari or anything. I just have my motorcycle.
You have a motorcycle.
Yeah, I have my motorcycle. That's everything I need. I have my motorcycle, and that's and this apartment with my studio. And that's everything I just I want to be able to cover, because I'm focusing on this other thing. I'm finally getting back to just getting context, and I have a couple of projects on the sound design part and mix part that are upcoming the next couple of months. So I'm really, this is the moment of my life where I'm releasing myself from the uneasiness of the past, if uneasiness, like from the weird, kind of dark place where I was for a few years, and where I'm just getting back into what I want to do. Yeah.
Well, if someone is there in a small town in Italy or Finland, and would like to come to America, would you have any advice?
So, yes. I think don't get scared. Don't get scared, because there's a lot of challenges into moving here, and the visa process is probably one of the hardest. When you think about, I want to go to America, the first thing that you think is like, oh, I will not be able to. Don't get scared of that. There's solution. There's plenty of lawyers here. that can help you just find a way around the legal system. Don't get scared about the quality that you can reach, because, you're probably coming from abroad. You understand that America is a highly valued country. And when you live abroad, the perspective is that everybody here is like insanely good at what they do. Like that, almost, if you're not American and you want to work, for example, in entertainment, or you want to go to Harvard and study, I don't know, economics, it almost feels like they're better, but it's not necessarily true. Like, I mean, just don't get scared of anything. Just walk your path, work hard, find your, being genuine, find your strength point, and keep trying. Try. If you fail, try again. And you're going to get there eventually. Because nothing, if there's something that this country makes clear, is that there's nothing impossible. You can make your own stuff. Maybe not the way you meant it, maybe in another way, maybe it's gonna change along the path, but you can make your own way.
Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. No, I mean, nothing. No, there's impossible stuff, but most of the things that you may wanna achieve can be achieved.
I think it sounded good. Nothing is impossible. I liked it. Where can people find you online or in person?
In person, you can just send me a text and just ask me for a beer, and that's anywhere in LA, west side, east side. I have a motorcycle. I don't care about traffic. That's good. No, website. I got out of Instagram recently again for the third time. On my personal account. Otherwise, you can find.
Why?
Because I'm very much in need of genuine connection, and I'm a little tired of seeing this plastic representation of life where everyone looks like they're having the best life of the world, and then maybe you figure out that that's necessarily not true. I really want people I'm in touch with and I talk with to be able to tell me, hey, this was a great day, and hey, yesterday was terrible. And Instagram became social media in general became like a representation of a fake kind of life that I don't want to just comply with anymore. That's mainly why.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you were telling where people can reach you. You said your website.
Website www.marcochiavetta.net, or you can also try
Chiavetta. It's
Chiavetta.
Marco CH.
CHIAVETTA.
Yes. So your website and
or Instagram. I still have the account of 02x. It's 02 number x_official. Is that true? I'm not even sure. I'm just I recently opened it. It's empty. So let me double check.
Marco is checking his Instagram
account. Oh shit! I don't have Instagram. Do you have Instagram?
Yeah, no. Yes, but all the phones are recording.
Oh, just
Okay, let's say it's that.
Yeah, let's say it's that. Maybe I don't know. It's we can cut it out if it's not.
Yes, or fix it. I'll edit later
In post, yes.
Yes. So website, that Instagram,
that's Instagram,
else?
And on the website there's a form for my email. So yeah, anywhere there. That's basically it.
Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Nothing.
Dude, I like that. Do you still approve it?
I do approve it. I really think nothing is impossible.
Can we hear a little bit of music?
Yes.
Live music. It can be a few seconds. That's a good way to end this.